baby! Let's go!
All right, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, what is going on? It is Boss Man Spencer, aka Isaiah, from Ascent Sports in the Zaya and the Steelers podcast. And finally, we are back with another episode. It has been since the last game of last season against the Cleveland Browns. That was the last time I uploaded a video talking about the Steelers. And honestly, it was a long off season, and it felt like there wasn't much happening. And then all of a sudden, everything started happening, and I don't know. We started signing players left and right, and then the draft was about to come up, and then I don't know anything about the draft. I don't know any of the prospects really, and so I just felt like it was never the right time to come back. But now that we are, in OTAs and relatively close to the start of the 2023-24 season, I figured it was time to finally come back with a video. And also, full transparency, this is about my third time recording this same episode, and so hopefully it works out this time. If you guys stick around for the entire episode, probably at the end we'll talk more about the logistics of the show and what I plan on doing with it and all the other stuff. So, anyways, let's get right into it with the draft. So starting out, I definitely think a really good draft from us. We had some positions of need. We've needed a tackle. We needed a corner. We needed some help on the D line, and we addressed all of those with our first three picks. Now there were some positions that I knew more than others. Like for example, I knew tackle. I knew a bunch of the tackles. I knew corner. I knew a bunch of the corners. But then after that, it kind of really fell off. And players specifically, when looking at the positions, I wasn't really I knew of like Joey Porter Jr., Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon at corner, and then at tackle like Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright, Paris Johnson, Peter Skoronski. I knew those guys, but as far as like being deep into the draft and whatnot, that was never me. And so I couldn't tell you who specifically we were going to take, but I knew for a fact it was going to be either tackle or corner. And I knew for a fact we would address it with one of those people. And so here we are with our first pick of the draft, and we take left tackle Broderick Jones out of Georgia. And by all accounts, a solid pick. I've seen the highlights. I've seen him just mauling dudes on the line. I've seen him move. I've seen him move pretty athletically at the tackle spot. I think he's going to be a solid pick. Offensive line too. Just specifically talking about the line, I'm not really as familiar with it. I don't really know good offensive linemen besides the one on my team and like the All-Pro ones. But hopefully he can be a building piece for us, man. We used our first round pick on him. We traded up for him. We've been needing a left tackle ever since, honestly, for a while now. Like, even Villanueva, I'm pretty sure, was either left or right tackle. But regardless, we've needed a tackle, and then after him, it was Dan Moore. We've needed a tackle. Hopefully, Broderick Jones can be that guy. And then looking at our second pick, we got Joey Porter Jr. He was a player that I knew we were gonna be picking, and I didn't know we were actually gonna get him, but I knew we would be interested in getting him, and I didn't think he was gonna fall to 32, guys. Honestly, I'm pretty happy I didn't do anything about the draft, just because players got picked, way earlier and way later than I thought. I think the Lions had a lot to do with that, with them taking like Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell in the first round. Kind of threw everything off. But then I think Christian Gonzalez kind of fell as well, and that just really mucked everything up, if you will. But we do get Joey Porter Jr. If you know the Steelers, we love all that family, historical, legacy, Game of Thrones ass shit that, shit be happening. Steelers love that. If you're a brother, Steelers will pick you. If your dad played, the Steelers will pick you. If you played at Pitt, the Steelers will pick you. If you had a cousin whose uncle's nephew, his brother, like he was the water boy, like it will pick you, bro. I swear. So we're big on that. And Joey Porter Jr., he's a Penn State player. He seems like a dog. He seems really good. We've been needing a lockdown corner, and hopefully, by all accounts, Joey Porter Jr., he's been pretty hyped up, and so hopefully he can be that for us, man. And then our second pick of the second round, we took Keanu Benton, and honestly, I really don't know much about Keanu Benton, but I do know he's a defensive tackle, And I do know we've needed help stopping the run, and we've needed help in that department. And so we're using a second round pick for it. Kind of I think to me, in terms of the first 4 picks, definitely slept on. Hasn't been as much coverage about him, but hopefully that just adds fuel to the fire, and we get like a nice surprise, I guess. But hopefully Benton's good once again. I think he'll be good. I've seen highlights, and just a solid pick overall. Next, we took Darnell Washington in the 3rd round. Now, this is a pick that I think, if you're not talking about Broderick just because he's not our first overall, if you're not talking about Joey just because he's Joey Porter's son, you're going to be talking about this pick. And if you've been watching me for a while, if you've watched any of the other episodes, you know I am very high on the this is what they're telling me, right? And because once again, I don't really watch college. I don't really, I don't know. But from what they're telling me, Darnell Washington, it seems like a dog. He seems like he's going to be a monster. I've seen the highlights of him blocking. I've seen the highlights of him catching passes. I've seen the highlight of that one-handed catch where like he just kind of just took it out of the air. I've seen it. And if he can have any kind of the similar impact that he had in college in the NFL, then hey man, I really think we got somebody. We'll see how the logistics of it work out. We'll see how much he actually plays versus how much he's still trying to learn. But once again, if he can just block, and we got him and Broderick Jones, and we got some free agents on the line, like I really think we've invested a lot into the line, especially in this last offseason. And it was calling for it. It was dying for it. We've been needing offensive linemen for a while. We've been taking a bunch of 4th-round centers and whatnot, but this year it seems like we were really like, all right, we just do it once. We'll take Broderick, and then we'll take Darnell, and then we can just have fun with positional players in the future because it's gonna be addressed now. It's gonna be shaped up now. I think we are going to have the best line in the. No, I don't think that, but. I think our line's gonna be pretty good. Let me. I'm up there. I'm up there thinking it's gonna be the best in the league, but I don't want to have the craziest of hypes for the line. So I'm gonna say we're gonna have a top 10. Top 10. That's 10 teams. I think we can have a top 10 line in the league. If you include Darnell Washington, if he's out there a lot blocking for us, I think it can be special. And I think Darnell Washington can be a special player for us. But once again, this is what they're telling me. They're telling me he's going to be elite. They're telling me he's like that. He played on Georgia. They were 2-time back-to-back national champions. I mean, what more could you ask for? Broderick Jones, also a Georgia player, by the way. Forget if I said that. But yeah, 2-time champions. We got their left tackle and we got their tight end. 2 very important positions on a championship roster, I would think. And we got them. So, Super Bowl? I don't know, man. We'll see. Looking ahead now to our 4th-round pick, we took Nick Herbig. Honestly, once again, I don't really know much about him. I do know he's an outside linebacker, an edge player, and I do know that we've needed help on the edge. Not help as in production, but help as in depth. And, Alex Highsmith, he stepped up. Bud Dupree, he stepped up. TJ Watt, he stepped up. Nick Herbig, maybe he'll be the next person to step up. I don't know. But for now, he is, I think, good depth and can have an impact. And we also signed his brother Nate in the offseason from the Jets. And so once again, just reiterating, reproving the Steelers and that Game of Thrones shit, they love it. They love legacy. They love history. They love family trees. I heard Pittsburgh is literally just all family trees. Every tree in Pittsburgh, it's a family tree because we love family. We love brothers. We love relation. Like we love it all, man. I swear. So shout out to Nick Herbig. Hopefully he can be an impact player for us. Hopefully he can be pretty good. And then now, Corey Trice, we took in the 7th round. These are both 7th-round picks, Corey Trice and Spencer Anderson. I apologize, Spencer. You're kind of cut off here, but I'll try to slide you over just a little bit. I think that's the best we're going to get. Oh, look at where we're doing now. Unbelievable. I broke it. Spencer Anderson, I broke it. I'm not editing this. You guys are just going to see that live thing. Spencer Anderson, I really tried to get you on the screen, man. I really did. But we took Corey Trice and Spencer Anderson in the 7th rounds. Corey Trice, a corner. Spencer Anderson, a tackle. Corey Trice, I've heard a lot about. I've heard he's going to be a solid player for us. Well, not going to be a solid player, but he could be a solid player. People were pretty hyped about him. And definitely, I think, a good pick in the 7th round. And then same thing with Spencer Anderson. I haven't really heard much about him, but I do know obviously we need tackles. That's why we took Broderick Jones. And we double down. We'll take another tackle and we'll take another corner like we took Corey Trice. So once again, before the draft, I could have told you it was going to be a tackle, it was going to be a corner, and we decided pretty much just to double up on the position. So to me, a really solid draft. And could it have been better? I think there was some points where I forget his name, but there was a safety that was falling a little bit. I think his name was like Brian something, Brian Brees. Maybe I'm too. Brian Brees seems Brian Branch. I think Brian Branch was his name. Either way, there was a safety that was falling that I was pretty interested in. If we could have got some middle linebacker help as well, that would have been nice. But once again, Detroit kind of threw everybody for a loop when they took Jack Campbell at 16 overall. He wasn't supposed to go there. After that, it just kind of threw everything for a loop. So it is what it is. But to me, once again, I definitely think a solid draft. And if you want more than my just my opinion, let me show you what the NFL.com had to say. Because NFL.com, they gave us an A. They think day 1, we got an A. Day 2, we got an A. And day 3, we got an A. Analysis, another solid first 2 days for the Steelers. With the trade for Jones filling the left tackle spot that was a sore spot last season, Porter picked as a playmaker outside, not just a legacy pick. Ben adding strength and athleticism up front, and Washington's massive frame giving him a chance to excel as a blocker and receiving threat. Using the early second round gained in the Chase Claypool trade on Porter was a major win. That is something that in the past videos I discussed, I didn't really mention that. But we did use Chase Claypool to get that number 32 pick. Shout out to the Bears. Shout out to Chase Claypool. Shout out to Omar Khan because that was a great trade. We need to do more trades like that because, man, number 32, Chase Claypool, I hope, because he used to be a Steeler, I hope it all works out in Chicago, but it didn't seem to be looking out or working out at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens this year. But Chase Claypool for a 32 for the 32nd pick, solid trade. And then just to finish it out, Herbig can play inside or outside for the Steelers with his aggressive nature overcoming his slight build. And then Anderson has good size and decent athleticism, which should land him on the roster as a swing tackle. See, so every pick pretty much we nailed. We nailed every pick. That's what the NFL is saying. Shout out to whoever wrote this. And if we scroll through here, let's go up. A- to the Eagles, B to the Jets, A- to the Giants, B+ to the Saints, A- to the Patriots, A- to the Vikings, B- to the Dolphins. Let me go down. I don't want to just go up just to prove I'm not like Mickey Mouse in it right here. 49ers B-, Seahawks A-, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got an A. They took Kalijah Kancey from Pittsburgh, and they also took Servassier Dennis from Pittsburgh, and they got an A. So the two teams that have gotten an A are the Pittsburgh Steelers, right, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who took 2 Pitt players. Hey, man, I don't make the rules. This is the NFL. This is NFL.com, man. You see the shield, protect the shield. You see the shield, NFL Plus. You see it. I don't make the rules, but it's looking like to me if you're the Steelers or if you take players from Pittsburgh, you win the draft. So, once again, it's not just me saying that. It is the NFL.com. And to me, let me, just because it's here, let me talk about Servassier Dennis real quick. I think for us, this would have been a clutch pick to get him. He took him 153 overall. Who did we? Oh, yeah, we did. We weren't even close. We had 132 and then completely fell to 200s. So we didn't have a chance, but I think Servassier Dennis is going to be really good for the for Tampa Bay, and I also think Kalijah is going to be good for them as well. But that's just a strange coincidence, honestly. That's hilarious. But shout out to Pitt. Shout out to the Steelers. Once again, NFL.com, they're giving us an A, man. I don't make the rules. I do not make the rules. I just follow them. I'm the voice of the people. Once again, this is what, guys, what do I keep saying? This is what they're telling me. And they're telling me we got an A. Hold on, let me zoom it in for you, too, just in case you can't see. Oh, man, that is so far in. But that is an A. It's an A. So this is what they're telling me. They're telling me we got an A. I'm telling you guys we got an A. And I really think Broderick Jones should be a beast. Joey Porter should be a beast. Keanu should be a beast. Darnell should be a beast. Nick Herbig should be a beast. Corey Trice should be a beast. And Spencer Anderson should be a beast. Everybody should be a beast. So shout out to them. Now let's look at some free agents. Let's look at free agents because the draft is nice, but free agency is really where I have to talk about some things. So shout out to PFF for this list. I originally had just every free agent we lost and signed just like on the screen, which maybe in the future will be better. But I've done this 3 times now, guys. I'm sorry. We are gonna confine it just a bit, but this right here, made by PFF, to me is perfect because it has all like the big names, I guess. So we're gonna start with people who moved on, and we're gonna start it off with Cameron Sutton. Uh, to me, I couldn't fathom losing Cameron Sutton, man. I really thought we were gonna re-sign him, and maybe that's my fault for not reading the writing on the wall per se, for not reading the room and realizing that we hadn't re-signed him already. Like, he's still not re-signed going into free agency, and as we know as Steelers fans, like, if you're not re-signed going into free agency, you could probably leave. So that's what ended up happening. Detroit signed him literally in 2 minutes. As soon as free agency started, Detroit signed him. And so you don't love to see that, but shout out to him for getting his money. I looked it up, and he is now the top 16th paid corner or highest paid corner in the league. And as a Steelers fan, I'm giving him top 16 at least. I don't want to really get into it here, but Cameron Sutton is at least top 16, right? Top 16 in the league, I'll give him that. And he's getting paid I believe it's like 11 million per year is the cap hit, or maybe even higher than that. But that's the cap hit in Detroit. They paid him once again, literally the first 20 seconds of free agency. Cameron Sutton was a Lion, so maybe some tampering there. I don't want to mess up anybody's money, but the Lions, they 100% tampered with Cameron Sutton. And there's nothing we can do about it. It happens. And maybe Cameron Sutton didn't want to stay. Maybe we didn't want to keep him. But to me, just an unnecessary loss. I would love to start keeping more players like Cameron Sutton who necessarily aren't TJ Watt per se, but are still pretty good. They still had an impact. They still make an impact on our team. I would love for those players to just stay to stay Steelers, but I know in a salary cap league it's impossible to have that. You got to prioritize the really good players, and then hopefully somehow, some way, find some money for Cameron Sutton. We couldn't do that this time. We couldn't find the money for him, so it is what it is. Good luck in Detroit, Cameron Sutton. Moving on now to Devin Bush, and not even just Devin Bush, but Devin Bush, Miles Jack, and Robert Spillane. We have completely overhauled the middle linebacker group. We completely start fresh. So individually, Devin Bush. Let's talk about Devin Bush first. We all know the story about Devin Bush. If not, I'll go quick, or I'll recap it quick. So pretty much in the 2019 draft, 2018 draft, one of those drafts, we traded up to get Devin Bush. We had just actually lost Ryan Shazier. Presumably, at the time, we didn't know he was out, but I mean, you could kind of tell he was out. And so we needed a new middle linebacker, and so we trade up to get Devin Bush. Everybody's excited. In his rookie year, he plays great. He plays pretty good his rookie year. And so we just, continue thinking that Devin Bush is going to be this piece for us. We keep thinking, he's going to be the guy. And we end up, TJ Watt ends up becoming even better than we originally thought. We get Minka. We still have Cam Hayward. He kind of becomes overshadowed a bit, but still playing well in year 2. And then about halfway through year 2, I believe, is when he tears his ACL or tears his Achilles, one of those kind of bad injuries. And much like people who have that injury happen to him, when he comes back, it's not the same. And granted, he did just get hurt, but there was just highlight after highlight of him missing assignments, him missing in the run game, him letting passes happen. And the media started killing him. I'm sorry, the media started killing him, man. The media started going crazy. And it was like this for the following season, and then the following season after that. Just the media killing him, the tape not looking the best for Devin Bush, all the way up until eventually he gets benched for the rest of the season by Robert Spillane. We were kind of playing with that before. We would have Spillane in, we'd have Jack in, we'd have Bush in. Even before we had Miles Jack, we had like Vince Williams and whatnot. Like we would kind of play around with our linebacker group. And for Devin Bush, a former first-round pick, for someone who we traded up to get, being benched for Robert Spillane can't happen. It can't happen, and that's what did happen. And so once his contract ended up, he ended up leaving. So it is what it is. I don't think we would have kept him anyway. I don't think we had an offer there. It is what it is. He is now a Seattle Seahawk. Me personally, I hope he gets better. I hope he ends up playing well. I hope he ends up being the player that we thought he was going to be, because it's hard for me to like really be upset, especially about the Devin Bush situation specifically, because like it is clearly injury and frustration of like everybody turning their backs on him. Like, he reads tweets too. If I can see tweets, he can see tweets. And I'm telling you guys, like, it was bad for Devin Bush. If you know, you know. If you were watching, you saw him get killed constantly, week after week after week. And he wasn't playing well. Just to give that too, just to defend the media, because who knows? Am I the media? But just to kind of throw them some slack, he wasn't playing good. He wasn't playing the best, and you could keep seeing it. There was clip after clip as well. So overall, just a toxic situation. And to me, I'm glad it's over. Shout out to Devin Bush. You got paid. You got a little bit of money. Hopefully he can work this out. Hopefully he can use this to get a lot of money, get a long-term deal somewhere else, and have a great career, because he's only 24.8, whatever the hell that means. I think 24 and 8 months. 24.8. He's only 24.8. So, I mean, hey, maybe he can turn it around. But, we'll see. Robert Spillane, moving on to him. Robert Spillane, I guess, was good depth. He was a good bench player for us. He was good because we had him for so long, and when you have free agency happen, when you have players leave left and right, when you have AB, Le'Veon, Big Ben all leave in pretty much 1 year, it's hard for you to really be hung up on losing Robert Spillane, unfortunately. So Robert Spillane, shout out to you. Spillane goes to the Raiders. Hopefully he has success there. I'm gonna miss having like the depth of Robert Spillane. Like, oh, someone gets hurt, we just throw Robert Spillane in there. We used to patch things up with Robert Spillane. Now we won't be able to do that. Hopefully in Vegas he has a good run. Miles Jack, we only had you for a year. You played well, but honestly, I still remember you as a 2017 Jacksonville Jaguar, and so now you're not on the team, and I don't give a shit. Hopefully, if you're good, you get another chance, I guess. Terrell Edmunds. This is something I really want to talk about, man, because losing Terrell Edmunds for $2 million, to me, unnecessary. To me, crazy. Really didn't need to happen. I don't know why it even did happen. I don't know why. Maybe Terrell just didn't want to come back. Maybe he was tired of Pittsburgh. That was it. But for maybe we didn't want him. But for $2 million, it's hard for me to believe that we couldn't make a deal happen with Terrell Edmunds. It seems like to me we created just an unnecessary issue that we really didn't need to have, because once again, it was for $2 million. Maybe he wasn't making as many splash plays as one would like. Maybe he just wasn't the Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed ball hawk that we wanted. But I think he was pretty solid, and to just let him go for $2 million, once again, to me is crazy. I've named the maybe he didn't want to stay. I've named the maybe Philly's in a better position to win if that's what he's looking for. Maybe that's it. But honestly, just completely pointless. We have DeMonte Casey, who I'll get to in a second, who we re-signed him to play the safety position. We also got Keanu Neal to play the safety position. But losing Terrell Edmunds, man, it was just completely unnecessary. He gave us 4 years as a solid starter, and we couldn't even hold on to it for $2 million when it says we have $11 million right here, which is 15th in the league. At the time, we didn't have $11 million though either. We've created that by murking the linebacker group, which is another reason why we couldn't re-sign Cameron Sutton, because we didn't have the cap space at the time. So hopefully we get better with that. Overall, like this is kind of branching off of Terrell Edmunds and Sutton losing then. Hopefully we can get better at signing people in the middle of the season. Hopefully we can not have to go into free agency with 15 different contracts that we all want to keep, and we only have enough to keep 2. Like, maybe in the season we can do more. But I don't know, man. Losing Terrell Edmunds, to me, very sus, very unnecessary. Good luck in Philly. Hopefully he plays well. But real quick too, just to shit on PFF, because I know I said shout out to them, but we also like shitting on PFF because they have horrible takes about the Steelers a lot. I'm gonna zoom in here. I don't know if you guys can really see this the best. But now it cuts it off. All right, I'm not gonna zoom in. But if you zoom in on your screen, if you could, if you're on the phone, I swear to God, just pinch to zoom. On the YouTube app, you can just do that. Just pinch over there, over on this right side. If you're listening to audio, just bear with me here. But PFF has ranked these free agents, and we got Terrell Edmunds ranked as the 181st free agent, and then Devin Bush ranked as the 178th free agent. Now, I don't know how the hell this is determined. Cameron Sutton, also 23. Shout out to Cameron Sutton. I don't know how the hell that's determined. But for Devin Bush, to me, for Devin Bush to be ranked higher than Terrell Edmunds, especially after last season, is kind of crazy. Maybe it's age, and Devin Bush had that injury. Like, I'm not even trying to shit on Devin Bush. But 181 is crazy. Terrell Edmunds being the worst person on this list is crazy. Worse than Cole Holcomb? Are you kidding me? To me, I didn't think Terrell Edmunds was that bad. I didn't think it was like, man, we're not even going to re-sign him for $2 million. I didn't think he was going to be ranked 181st. Maybe I don't watch. Maybe I'm a casual. This is exposing me here. But I don't think that's true. I think Terrell Edmunds is way better than, 181. Maybe not way better. But I just can't believe that. That's crazy. To have Devin Bush ranked higher when I'm telling you guys, if you were a Steelers fan, Devin Bush getting cooked every week. Terrell Edmunds gets cooked kind of by association, but it's never like awful play. It's more like, man, I wish he would just do more because we took him in the first round. But it was never like clip of Terrell Edmunds in coverage getting absolutely toasted. Not all the time. It happened once or twice, but not all the time. Is what I'm trying to say. This guy isn't Troy Polamalu. He's not Ed Reed. So I understand, losing him isn't the biggest of deals. But he was a starter, man. He was a starter for us. 34 is a good number, too. He was a good number starter, and he's just gone. And ranked 181st, apparently. So, Philly, congratulations. You got the 181st ranked free agent. GG's to you. Terrell Edmunds, good luck in Philly. Devin Bush, good luck in Seattle. Cameron Sutton, good luck in Detroit. All the other free agents who did leave, good luck. If I'm forgetting you, I apologize. But good luck. And we will see you throughout the season. Now, talking about the people we did sign. This isn't everybody we signed, but once again, this is kind of like a summary here of the best people. Starting off, Cole Holcomb. I explained that, we got rid of the linebacker group. So Cole Holcomb, us signing him, he's 26.8, just like Devin Bush is 24.8. He's 26.8. He's ranked 110 in the free agency rank. I don't really know much about him. Hopefully he can be a solid player for us, but once again, I really don't know. Next, Isaac Seumalo. I think that's how you say it. Seumalo? I don't know. Isaac Seumalo. That's how I'm going to say it. Isaac Seumalo. He's a guard from Philly. Philly had a great line. He was ranked 30th. We could use offensive line help. To me, W signing, and I did not see this coming. I didn't think we could get even, he's ranked 30 out of just the free agent class. That still, to me, is pretty high. I didn't think we could get somebody like this in free agency, especially when you lose Cameron Sutton and you're just losing players. Like, I didn't think we could actually gain, a good player like this, but we did. So shout out to Omar Khan. Shout out to Seumalo. Next, we keep Larry Ogunjobi. Honestly, I'm not trying to, shit on Larry Ogunjobi and his money, but we did keep him for kind of a high price tag there. So I think eventually we're going to rework that, but you got to do what you got to do to keep your players. I can't sit here and be mad at us losing players and then try to shit on Larry Ogunjobi's deal. So I'm glad we were able to keep him. He was solid for us. But I do think eventually we are going to rework that. And by eventually, I mean next season. So, it is what it is, but we do keep Larry Ogunjobi. Next, I talked about him, Nate Herbig. He is a guard as well. He's wearing a Philly jersey in this, but I swear we got him from the Jets. Maybe I'm tweaking, and maybe this is my casual offensive line brain going right here. But I just don't know ball, man. I don't know ball. But hopefully Nate Herbig, he can be good for us. He's ranked 163. I'm assuming him and Dotson and our other guards, they'll battle it out. But Seumalo, I assume he's going to be a day one starter. Hopefully. Because, he's ranked 30, and I'm sure we're looking for him to do that. And lastly, we get Patrick Peterson. We got Patrick Peterson, I want to say, not the same day, but a little bit after we lost Cameron Sutton. Now, we know Patrick Peterson is a legend. We know all he's done in the game. We know all the punt returns, the kick returns in Arizona. We know the pick sixes. We know him in Minnesota still playing well. But I really didn't want Patrick Peterson, to be honest. I really wanted to just keep Cameron Sutton. I wanted to build upon the corners we had, maybe draft Joey Porter Jr. still, but I didn't really want Patrick Peterson. And just because us getting him after losing Cameron Sutton, I think that kind of drove it in more. But with all that said too, Patrick Peterson is a legend, and we got a legend on the team. So I'm not mad at Patrick Peterson himself. I'm just mad at the optics surrounding it. I'm mad at us losing Cameron Sutton and us getting Patrick Peterson to replace him. But hey, if you are a team that did just lose Cameron Sutton, you might as well go get Patrick Peterson, right? I fucking guess so. So 1 + 1 = 2. We get Patrick Peterson because we lose Cameron Sutton. He's a legend. He's not wearing 7, as he clearly stated, because the fans were being mean to him. He's not wearing 7. Hopefully he can be a solid player for us. I mean, that's really all it comes down to at this point. And once again, he's a veteran. Maybe he can teach Joey Porter Jr. some things. Good veteran presence to have, not only around him, but Corey Trice and some of the other younger people we have. But yeah, I think in terms of like brand name, that's crazy. In terms of like big name free agents, that's really it. I can think of off the top of my head, like we re-signed James Pierre. He's a corner as well. I'm very happy we re-signed James Pierre, not because he's like, just this goat, but because there's nothing better than watching James Pierre play football, man. I'm telling you. There's nothing better than just seeing the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows when it comes to James Pierre. You live and you die with James Pierre football. You live with him in coverage. You die with him in coverage. And I'm very happy we kept James Pierre. Shout out to James Pierre, man, because honestly, it doesn't really go the best most of the time. Most of the time, it's, man, why is James Pierre on him? But when he's locking somebody up, it's Richard Sherman, Champ Bailey, Darrelle Revis, all mixed into one, man. When James Pierre is locking somebody up, you can guarantee they're not catching the ball. It's Alcatraz in tsunami weather kind of coverage. Like, it's crazy. And so I'm glad we were able to keep James Pierre. Hopefully Patrick Peterson can teach him some things too. Him and Corey Trice. Hopefully our cornerback room can be a surprise to me like it was last year. Because last year I was saying, man, like Cameron Sutton, James Pierre, Ahkello Witherspoon, like we're going to need more help. And for the most part, our secondary played pretty well last year. So, you can't really go too crazy on it. But I definitely think losing Cameron Sutton will be a big thing. But hopefully Joey Porter Jr. can come into his own. Hopefully he can be great immediately. That's what we need. And if not, we got Patrick Peterson and James Pierre. If not, so Joey Porter Jr. Good luck out there. But now in terms of free agents and draft acquisitions, I think we're about a half hour into this. I really think I hit y'all with the analysis. I think I've gotten through what I needed to get through. Of course, Chris Wormley down here. I don't think we're gonna re-sign Chris Wormley. I think Keanu Benton. I think he's Chris Wormley now, and it is what it is. But real quick, actually, before I leave this entirely, I do want to look at this. We got the lineup thing because I do want to take a look at our lineup real quick. So in the safeties department, we don't have Terrell Edmonds anymore. We have, and actually this is flipped. Normally, Minka's the other safety, but whatever. Devontae KZ and Minka Fitzpatrick back there in the safety department. And then we got Cole Holcomb and Aladen Roberts. I didn't mention Aladen, but he comes from the Dolphins. Once again, we completely revamped the middle linebacker room. And we're rolling out to the season with Cole Holcomb and Aladen Roberts. Will that be bad? I don't know. We'll see. But now, if we look to the corners, we got Joey Porter Jr. and Patrick Peterson listed as the starters. I don't know if this is like official or this is probably just PFF, predicting things because I don't think there's official, depth charts out yet. So this is just them predicting things, but kind of makes sense. So we got Joey Porter Jr. and Patrick Peterson in the secondary, and then on the line we got Alex Highsmith, T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, and Keon Adams. I believe Keon Adams / Keanu Benton will be here. And then DeMarvin Leal, who we drafted last year / Ogunjobi will be here. Leal maybe could play for Cam as well. But this is how it looks. This is how the D-line looks right now. And in terms of from last year to this year, Patrick Peterson, Elated Roberts, Cole Holcomb, KZ being a starter, and Joey Porter Jr. These are all new pieces. So like this kind of formation right here, or not formation, but like these five names right here, these are all new. So Peterson, Porter, new, linebackers, new, and then KZ being a listed starter, new. We will see, man. We will see how this works out. Because this Fitzpatrick, Watt, and Cam Hayward defense, they've been able to be good enough at times. They've been very good at times. But they've been just good enough while replacing, the linebackers and the corners, and getting rid of Terrell Edmonds. Will that prove to be, you know, bad enough for it to like really affect us, or will it just be like another day? Will it be next man up mentality? We'll see. Personally, I think it's just good enough to be exactly the same as last year. Like I think Joey Porter Jr., Patrick Peterson, I think together at least they can equal Cameron Sutton. So maybe a little worse in the secondary. And KZ also being there, not Terrell. We'll see about that. It's kind of unknown. He played well once again. KZ played very well in the snaps that he did see last year. But Terrell Edmonds he was a starter for 3 to 4 seasons, like 4 seasons. So it's hard to just completely move on from that. But we'll see. And then linebackers, it did not look well last year, or the year before that, or the year before that. And so Holcomb and Roberts, as bad as they can play, I once again don't think it can get much worse. But I don't want to test it, so let's not have it get much worse. But overall, I think we still have a chance on defense. When you got Minka, when you got TJ, when you got Cam, like you always got a chance. I really think this can be a stout defense. It's all about getting to the quarterback. If we can get to the quarterback, that's it. If we can get to the quarterback, this is a top 3 defense in the league. If we can get 4 sacks a game like we typically do, this is the best defense in the league, guaranteed. If not, we're probably going to get run on the whole game. We're probably going to be a bunch of wide open receivers. Probably going to be tight ends all over the place, all over our linebackers, getting first downs, getting touchdowns. We'll see. But hopefully, it works out. Now, scrolling down to the offense, because it's an offensive league, the offensive side of the football. Let's look at it, because this is pretty revamped as well. So, receiving-wise, we still got Deontay. We still got George Pickens. But also, we got Allen Robinson, who we traded for. I forgot to mention him. They have him in the slot. Once again, I don't know if this is, official or anything. I don't think it is, but this is just how it's listed. So we got Deontay, George Pickens, Allen Robinson. And then on the line, we got Broderick Jones, Isaac Semaleo, Mason Cole, James Daniels, and Chukwuma Okorafor. Pat Freiermuth, the starting tight end, and then Kenny Pickett and Naj in the back. Honestly, receiving core, and counting tight ends, we got Deontay Johnson, who, say what you want about Deontay. Definitely a better receiver in this league. He's definitely on the better side than he is on the worst side, to me. So Deontay Johnson, solid. And at one point, if last year didn't happen, I would tell you a top 10 receiver right now, no bias. But because the touchdown shit happened, he didn't score any touchdowns. He do be dropping the ball sometimes. He do run, backwards. Oh, I'm sorry. He does run backwards sometimes. He runs, towards this wall. I get it. It happens. I'm going to say top 15, 20. Top 15 to 20. Allen Robinson, who knows where he is in his career right now, but he was solid at one point. George Pickens, who I think should be top 10. He'll probably be top 10 this year if we just throw him the ball. Top 10. Patrick Freiermuth, solid tight end. We got Darnell, solid tight end. We got Zach Gentry still, solid tight end. We got Calvin Austin, solid receiver. We signed Hakeem Butler in the offseason. He's a XFL wide receiver who was pretty good. We have the weapons. We got Naj and Jaylen Warren. We've tried to get the weapons. We've invested in the weapons. I said earlier it could be a top 10 line in the league. I'm standing by it. Could be a top 10 in the league. You know why? Because who cares about the offensive line? Who gives a shit? You know if it's good. You know if it's bad. But in terms of sitting here debating the numbers, I'm going to say the Steelers got a top 10 line in the league until proven otherwise. We got a top 10 line in the league. Hell yeah. And with that said, if there's one theme of the season, to me, it's we're out of excuses. We've tried, we've done everything we could. We took the first round tackle. We took the tight end who can block. We got the free agent guard. Like, we've done everything possible to fix it as fast as possible, And so in the running game, if Naj comes in fully healthy, we're going to need to see high numbers per carry. We're going to see high yards, high touchdowns. We're going to have to see it. And same thing goes to Kenny Pickett. And I want to shift this now to real quick to not real quick. I want to shift this to go to talk about Kenny Pickett specifically for a little bit now. Because he is our quarterback. He is our quarterback. And I said excuses are running out. We've invested heavily into this offense. We still have Matt Canada, which I know he is the absolute crutch. He is the absolute asterisk. But at some point, we just got to out-talent this guy. At some point, whatever he's trying to call, there has to be a world in where this Matt Canada offense works. He can't just be writing these bullshit plays. He can't just be running these bullshit plays. And in his head, like, it's going nowhere. In his head, he's seen it work. And he's had control of the offense for I think 3 seasons now. That's 3 drafts, 3 free agencies, 3 off seasons to tell Tomlin, to tell Khan / who was it before Khan, Colbert, to tell them like, hey, these are the players I need to run my offense. We got rid of Ben because you know Ben, and we'll talk about Ben in a second. But Ben probably isn't the best, isn't the most willing to just to give up things. Probably isn't the best person to coach per se for Matt Canada for year 1 Matt Canada coming in for year 18 Ben, Matt Canada trying to instill an offense. Ben's been playing for 20 years. Like, that probably wasn't the best situation to get out the Matt Canada offense, right? And so Ben leaves. Now we have Kenny Pickett come in, and Matt Canada probably has a way better time of instituting plays with Kenny Pickett than he did with Ben. And when he had those plays, well, to Mitch Trubisky, because Kenny Pickett didn't start. But the idea, he probably has a way easier time running new plays for Mitch and Kenny than he did for Ben. So we come into last year, we got Mitch, and the offense looks shit. It looks garbage. Same thing with Kenny comes in, it looks garbage. But eventually it did start getting better. Once we started being able to run the football better, I think the offense as a whole kind of turned around, kind of turned over a new leaf, if you will. And so there has to be a world in where this works. And if it isn't this world, if it isn't getting Calvin Austin, if it isn't, because you remember Calvin Austin before he got hurt, he was lighting up camp. He was the Matt Canada special. So we got Calvin Austin back. We got Deontay, we got Pickens, we got Allen Robinson, we got Akeem Butler, we got Jalen Warren, we got Najee, we got Patrick Freiermuth, we got Darnell Washington, we got Zach Gentry, we got the whole new line. It's put up or shut up time. I don't want to hear Matt Canada. I don't want to hear rookie. I don't want to hear the line stinks. I don't want to hear none of it. I'm sorry, I hit my mic again, but I'm really passionate about this. Kenny Pickett needs to ball out. And not only because the counting stats at the end, just not only because it looked as bad as it looked. But I'm tired of people talking shit about Kenny Pickett, man. I'm really tired of it. And just to show you guys real quick, I want to start out with some positivity. You ready? This is a tweet from Phoenixburg. Shout out to the Zaya and the Steelers Twitter. Go follow that. Links will be in the description. But this is Phoenixburg right here. This is a tweet from them. The speed of Lamar Jackson, the arm strength of Josh Allen, the accuracy of Drew Brees, and the clutchness of Tom Brady. Who does this describe? This describes quarterback Kenny Pickett. I feel him. I really do feel him, man. I really do think that this is a solid tweet. I really think this encapsulates, the Kenny Pickett experience. And so, hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. And then if we want to look at this real quick, actually, you know what? Before I get to the next tweet, I want to show you guys this, just so you guys see where I'm coming from here. So if we look at the CBS.com quarterback ranking, we got Kenny Pickett all the way down at 28. Once again, I laid it out for you. I kind of started out with some negativity with, the slander that he's been getting, the touchdown interceptions. They just don't look the best on paper. So I get it. But 28? Are you kidding me? When we got CJ Stroud, who hasn't played, Anthony Richardson, who hasn't played, and Ryan Tannehill and Jordan Love above him? Are you shitting me right now? Really? 28. Cool, whatever. Who else is above him? Jimmy G, I'll take that. Derek Carr, he literally retired Derek Carr in Vegas. He's in New Orleans now. Derek Carr literally is on a whole new team because Kenny Pickett led a game-winning drive in his house, right on his head. But it's cool. Rank him ahead. Bryce Young hasn't played it down. Cool. Kyler Murray can't. Listen, are we going to push Kenny Pickett better than Kyler Murray? Is that what's about to happen right now? Man, Kyler Murray's team, it's falling apart. His team is falling apart. They're trading everybody. But yeah, sure. Kyler Murray, 20. I'm joking. Maybe that's a joke. I don't know. I think you could honestly debate it. Kyler Murray has some time in the league right now. Cool. But what does that mean? What does him playing extra seasons mean? You know, I don't think it really means anything. Because his team's falling apart and they're probably going to either get rid of him or draft somebody else, new. So it is what it is. Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, these are like potato. Like, because Russell Wilson played horrible, but, he does have the past seasons of him playing great. Matthew Stafford, he got hurt. Tua, I don't know. But overall, just having Kenny Pickett at 28 just is insane. And then for the description, how far does grit get you? Certainly few younger, like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Just crazy. It's just crazy to me. And if we look back now at the like tweets, I wanted to show you guys this because we got for the first 4 starts versus the last 7 starts, okay? So early on, 12 points a game. This is horrible. 1 and 3 horrible. 5 yards, probably bad. I don't know. 2 to 5 touchdown interception ratio, not good. And 71 passer rating, not good. And then if we look on the last 7, we got 21 points a game. That's better. 6 and 1, very good. 6.4, so that's almost a 10-yard increase. And then 5 to 1 touchdown interception and 84 passer rating. Not to say this is all entirely on him, but he was a rookie, and our run game was shit at the very beginning of the season. So this side makes sense. But as the season went on, as we started growing together, as the running game started getting better, as Kenny Pickett got more games under his belt, things started turning around. And I get, let's see, quarterback win-loss, touchdown. Here we go. Touchdown to interception ratio. 5. What's that? 7? 7 to 6? Is that what that is? 7 to 6? I get on paper that isn't the prettiest looking thing. I get it. But we didn't have many touchdowns at all last year. From him, from Deontay. Deontay, he didn't catch a single touchdown. Everybody always says it, and that's why he's so bad. He didn't catch a touchdown. So there wasn't many touchdowns to come around last year. Okay, you got me. But other than that, 1 interception for the last 7 starts, 1 pick for the last 7 games. Okay, cool. All we see is Kenny pick 6, Kenny Pickett. Like they emphasize, they all caps the P, the P-I-C-K. They all caps and everything else is lowercase because Kenny Pickett throws a lot of interceptions. That's what they say. It's a lie. It's literally a lie. And if we look at this 2 to 5 thing, at least 3 of them came in one game, and at least one of those 3 was a drop by Chase Claypool. I forget the game, but I remember the play. I'm pretty sure it was New England. It was New England or the Jets, one of them. It was a drop. It was a drop by Chase Claypool. There was a bunch of these. There was at least 2 drops here probably. And if you got to go this hard to defend somebody, if you got to go this hard to break the numbers down, if you got to separate them from 4 to 7, if you got to do all this, then, maybe he's just not that guy. Maybe he's shit. Maybe Kenny Pickett stinks. But I swear it doesn't seem like he stinks. If you just watched, if you just paid attention, you could see the progression. You could see it happening. But, for the casuals, for the people who just, they just don't care, I can see it. And, having him ranked, 28th, having him ranked 28. Why not 29? Why Mac Jones beat him? Why not have Mac Jones over Kenny Pickett, And then, why not have Baker Mayfield? He beat us in the playoffs once, remember? Desmond Ridder, why not play? And Sam Howell. Sam Howell all the way at the bottom. Sam Howell, if you guys don't know, he's also an ACC quarterback who was ranked ahead of Kenny going into 2020. And then Kenny Pickett had a Heisman-like season. Probably should have won the Heisman. And now Kenny Pickett's better than Sam Howell. And he'll always be better than Sam Howell. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm debating right now. I don't know if I'm trying to get Kenny Pickett to a top 10 in my head. I don't know if I'm trying to convince you guys of that. I don't know what I'm trying to convince you guys of. Other than we got to stop shitting on Kenny Pickett. We got to stop making these quarterback lists and putting him at 30 just to get clicks. We got to stop ranking quarterbacks who haven't even played ahead of him. But that's just me. This happens all the time. It's not just Kenny Pickett, and Mac Jones is also getting kind of shit on here. So Patriots fans, Patriots and Steelers fans, can we unite real quick? Can we tell the internet to stop shitting on our starting quarterbacks, please? Can that happen? Like, fuck. Like, other quarterbacks get hella respect. Kenny Pickett, he just gets his car stolen. Somebody stole Kenny Pickett's car. Like, are you kidding me? The starting quarterback of the Steelers, somebody stole his car. Right next to Pittsburgh, too. I think it was in, like, Monroeville. which is like 30 minutes out. Someone stole Kenny Pickett's car. And this is what I got to do. This is why I got to go so hard. I think I got the tweet up right here. Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett had his car stolen in the middle of a radio interview. So this guy, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's giving us content. He's giving content to the people, to the world. And we just stole his car. Like, right in the middle. Like, come on. And we got him ranked 28th. Like, come on. Where is the respect? Where is the respect? Mans has like 3 game-winning drives. 6-1 to close the season. If that one right there, I'm almost positive that this is the Baltimore Ravens game where he played one play and then got hurt. And then Mitchell Trubisky came in, threw 3 interceptions, lost us the game. That game ended up costing us the playoffs. Had Mitch not played, had Kenny continued playing, not gotten hurt, I really think we win that game and thus we make the playoffs. But hey, we will see. With all that said, Kenny Pickett, I would not like to spend 20 minutes trying to bail you out next season. So if you could play better, if you could throw some more touchdowns, highly appreciate it. If we could win some more games, put up more points per game, I would highly appreciate it. And lastly, just to go back to the Kenny Pickett got his car stolen point. So I thought this was pretty funny. So Kenny Pickett, obviously, he got his car stolen, as I've said. And apparently, the playbook was left in the car. The playbook was in the car. And so the internet, they just had a field day with this, what the thief saw in the playbook, and it's a bunch of jet sweeps, LOL. Shout out to Matt Canada. And then Matt Canada's playbook was so shitty, it wasn't even worth stealing. Shout out to Dante for this tweet. Shout out to Nick for this other tweet. I thought these were pretty funny, man. Because, who doesn't like shitting on Matt Canada? I made at least 7 videos last year shitting on Matt Canada. He's walking content, man. So, I mean, would I have felt better if the thief stole the car and saw our playbook was in there and kept the playbook? Would that have made me feel better about the team? Honestly, yeah. Because, I mean, he probably could have saw the playbook and just could tell, oh, man, they're cooking. Like, I got to send this to Bill Belichick. I got to send this to Zach Taylor or something. But no, he just left it. He fucking left the playbook. So maybe we got some Mickey Mouse plays in there still. I don't know. But I thought this was pretty funny. It's been, days now. May 26th is when this was put out. It's May 28th. I've recorded this podcast through, 8 different times now. I thought this was way funnier. But hopefully you guys still enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy seeing this, man. But yeah, I really thought this was pretty funny. But once again, Kenny Pickett, we can't be stealing Kenny Pickett's car. We can't be ranking Kenny Pickett 28th behind quarterbacks who've never played, and quarterbacks who are about to get traded, and quarterbacks who are about to get released by their team, and quarterbacks who got traded for 18 picks and now their team is regretting even making the trade. And same thing with this quarterback. And same thing, honestly, they've been ready to move off of Tua for 8 years, but now that it's time to rank him ahead of Kenny Pickett, he's 17. And Justin Fields, they tell me he can't throw. Now that it's time to rank him over Kenny Pickett, he's 16. Daniel Jones, everybody has told me that Daniel Jones is making too much money and he's not that good. But when it's time to rank him over Kenny Pickett, he's 15. Geno Smith, Geno Smith was damn near kicked out of the league. He had a good season. Now he's 14 when it's time to rank him over Kenny Pickett. I just can't take it anymore. So I'm gonna move on from this topic. I really am. And now what I want to talk about is our early record prediction, because I've laid out the roster. I've laid out the expectations for players. If everything goes to plan, I think this is possible. Now, you guys got to let me cook. Okay? If you disagree with this, then let me know. But I think I'm going to be fair and I'm going to be objective about this. Very on May 28th, 2023, I'll probably end up re-predicting this schedule 10 times by the time it actually happens. But I do want to get this out. I do want to give you guys my thoughts and what I think, because I don't think this is the toughest schedule, and I think we got a chance. So I'm going to do this, and let me know what you guys think. Week 1 at the 49ers. I'm going to be objective. 49ers may be in a better spot than us. We lose that. 0-1. Cool. 0-1. Next game, Cleveland. I always split the division, so I believe that this one is at home at a Creasier. So I'm going to give this to us. That's 1-1. And once again, I split them. We could easily sweep the Browns. The Browns maybe could sweep us, but I always split the division. So 1-1. Vegas, the Raiders. Come on, man. If you're really going to have me sit here and predict that we're going to lose to the Raiders on Sunday Night Football, you're tweaking. So that's 2-1. The Texans. if you're going to have me sit here and predict us losing to the Texans in May, if I get if you've already given up on the season, if you just think we're going to suck, then cool. Maybe you give us this loss in May. But I'm saying we beat the Texans. It's the Texans, bro. Are you kidding me? So that's 3-1. I don't think that's the craziest to be 3-1 at this point. Next up, Baltimore. This is our home game. So 4-1. That's 4 wins. I'm going to split them. So, maybe it happens. And we do tend to beat Baltimore sometimes. So even splitting it might be crazy. But 4-1. So lost to the 49ers. And then beat Cleveland. Beat Vegas. Beat Houston. Beat Baltimore. 4-1. Week 7, I'll be objective. Week 7, I'll give this a loss. 4-2 against the Rams. Maybe they come back to bite. I don't know. Maybe they come back with some heat. 4-2. We could easily win that though. 4-2 though. Jacksonville, I'll even give them that. Fuck Jacksonville and fuck the 2017 Jaguars. But I'll give them it just to be objective so you guys can see I'm being fair. 4-3, okay? 4-3 by week 8. Week 9, the Titans. I'm not explaining it. We're going to beat the shit out of the Titans. So what's that? 5-3. That's 5-3. Green Bay, if you're really going to sit here and tell me, once again, Jordan Love and Aaron Jones, like, we can beat Green Bay. We really can. So I'm giving this to us. I'm giving us 6-3. 6-3. Sue me. 6-3. And then Cleveland, we already gave ourselves the win. So 6-4. They'll get their win back. Cincinnati, this is at their stadium. 6-5. Arizona, they're literally blowing up their team and tanking. So 7-5, okay? New England, we're going to get that win back from last year. 8-5. The Colts, we always beat the Colts. 9-5. Cincinnati, it's our home game. Time to get our win back. 10-5. Seattle, we can beat them. 11-5. And because I split the games earlier, I let us get the first game of the season against the Ravens, and the last game is at their home. 11-6. 11-6 is what I objectively came up with. Seattle, maybe we could lose that. Maybe. New England, I guess maybe we could lose that. We lost it last year. Maybe. Green Bay, maybe. But then I also think we maybe could beat Jacksonville. We maybe could beat the Rams. We maybe could sweep Baltimore. We've done that a few times. We maybe could sweep Cleveland. We've done that a few times. Bengals, I don't think that's going to happen. But we could get at least one, like I said. But yeah, 11-6. I really don't think that's that crazy. I think 10 wins is a minimum. 10 wins has to happen with this roster, with this schedule, because once again, I don't think this is the toughest. It's not like we're playing we are playing Baltimore. It's not like we're playing Buffalo. It's not like we're playing Kansas City. Our toughest teams are going to be the Bengals and the 49ers. And we get the 49ers in week 1. So, and we're a great week 1 team, so we could steal this. We low-key could steal this 49ers game. But yeah, like I don't think that's that crazy. And let me know if I'm tweaking, but 10 wins, 10 to 12 wins, I think is very possible. Very possible. And I believe we opened up at 8.5, so 9 wins. I would definitely take that, honestly. I would take that bet if you're a betting person. Because as I've laid out, if what they're telling me, if this newly crafted roster with year 2 Kenny Pickett, with Matt Canada finally getting to, institute his shit for revamped defense, newly acquired offensive line, I think we have a chance at this. So let me know. And also preseason games, WWW. So that's undefeated in the preseason. Let me know what you guys think though. Let me know if I'm tweaking. Let me know what game I should be more weary of. Maybe the Texans, maybe they got something for us, or maybe Jacksonville, they're just gonna stomp us. Maybe Tennessee finally gets us. I don't know. Shit, we could even maybe get a bye at this point. We maybe could get the first seed with this schedule. That's just me, though. Let me know if I'm tweaking once again. Who should I pay more attention to? But yeah, that does it for the schedule. And lastly, I do want to talk about some final smaller topics here. Starting out with, let's get this off. Le'Veon Bell says he wants to retire with the Steelers, but hopes to get one last shot in the NFL. I'm not going to read this entire article. Here's him doing the weigh-in thing. But we all know the Le'Veon Bell story. We know that he, wanted a new contract and he wanted more guaranteed money. And we just weren't really, I guess, willing. I'm going to leave this on the screen, actually. We just weren't really willing to give it to him, I guess. We didn't want to give him all the guaranteed money. and he sat out. He fucking sat out the whole season. And we can be mad at him for it. To be still mad at him for it, to me, is a little crazy, but it is what it is. Uh, but yeah, we all know the story, man. Running back wanted paid more because, they're done in 4 years, and 4 years came, and Le'Veon was done. So really, like, I think they both were kind of spitting. We paying Le'Veon what he wanted would have been crazy, given what actually happened, given he injuries plagued him for the rest of his career. But then on Le'Veon's side, trying to get all that money, because you're gonna get hurt. Like, this is what happens. Not to like simp for the millionaire people or whatever, but it's what they got to do. If you're a running back and you're only gonna have, your rookie deal and then that next contract, if that's like your only chance to make money, you gotta on that second contract, you gotta go hard because that third contract for running backs is elusive, man. That third contract is damn near impossible. We've seen Ezekiel Elliott, like he's a free agent right now. Ezekiel Elliott, and remember him in 2016, he was dogging us. Leonard Fournette, he's made a living, I guess, kind of made a living, lol. He's made a career out of kind of taking like the 1 year smaller deals and still able to give teams some solid snaps. But that long term shit, it's dead. That long term shit is done with Leonard Fournette. We've seen Todd Gurley, like 2 years later, he's done. Like literally done. We've seen it time and time happen over and over and over and over again. So for me to sit here and still be mad that Le'Veon Bell was trying to get more money is a bit unrealistic. I'm not upset about it anymore, especially because his teammate AB in that following season kind of took the cake for grand exits from the Steelers. I think AB doing what he did kind of took a lot of the flack off of Le'Veon for doing what he did. Because Le'Veon, he just wanted more money. Like, you can call it selfish, you can call it whatever, but he just wanted more money. And for a team worth billions, the Steelers, theoretically, if there was no cap, if there wasn't any rules, we could have paid him. We definitely could have paid him. And even with the cap, we still could have did it probably. But we just didn't end up doing it. But either way, he says he would like to retire a Steeler. We really don't need him anymore. We really, we got Najee, we got Jalen Warren. But I guess Le'Veon could be like that third string kind of guy. He could he could give us some snaps if it's just like a ceremonial thing. If he wants to retire, like he wants to sign for one game and then retire then, or one day and do that. I mean, I guess if that'll make him feel better. But in terms of the organization and in terms of the media and stuff, I hate to break it to you, Le'Veon, but it's dead. I don't think we really care anymore. Like, it's not like he's gonna have his jersey retired or anything. It's not like he's gonna be in the Ring of Honor. It would just be a cool thing, and if that's what we're looking for, sure, I'm down. I'm down. But I just don't know the impact it's gonna have. Like, let's say we re-sign you, and then let's say we re-sign you and he's gonna play, and then let's say the next game, like, is there gonna be a bunch of old Le'Veon jerseys in the crowd? Do you think? Is that what's gonna happen? Maybe, because we just still have them, but I just don't think that impact is really there. I think it's been a little too long. I think Le'Veon's been kind of far away from football, if that makes sense, for a while. But hey, I don't want to be a hater. Le'Veon, if you want to come back, this is what you want to do, I'm fucking with it. I don't know what the logistics of it. I believe also 26 is being worn by somebody else. If you want to go that hard and get your number back, go for it. Go fuck it. Go for it. But I'm down. I'm a big Killer B guy. I'm down. I hope AB comes back too. Who cares? He was great at playing football. Le'Veon was great at playing football. If Le'Veon can still play great football, bring him. And get all the 26s in the crowd, But really, this wasn't really that big of a topic, but I would be down for it. Le'Veon, hey, this came out a few days ago. 26th, this is 28th now. So yeah, shout out to Le'Veon. Hopefully he gets a chance to retire the way he wants to retire, whether it's with the Steelers, whether it's with a different team or something. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully that happens. Now, I don't want to sign up for this. Now, I do want to look at this. Shout out to Steelers Now, this website, and shout out to Nick Farbaugh. We saw a tweet from him earlier. I'm not gonna go through this whole article, but I do want to talk about this. If the Cardinals are selling, the Steelers should try for Baker and Isaiah Simmons. Budda Baker, if you guys don't know, is a safety, and Isaiah Simmons is also like a like a linebacker, corner, safety. He's like one of those players that just does everything on defense. I think Isaiah Simmons is someone who realistically we could get and realistically we should get. Because as I've stated, the Cardinals, they're going to be selling a lot. They're probably going to be tanking here for the number 1 and 2 pick because they have both the number 1 and 2 pick. Well, they have 2 first-round picks. That could be those picks. If we can, I'm certainly down for it. If there's moves to be made still, a linebacker, middle linebacker is definitely something we need. I think Isaiah Simmons might not even be just a middle linebacker for us, just kind of a defending piece. If there's a piece to be had to get, we should get him. We should get him. That's really all I have to say about that. Low key too. If you guys peep this on the right, I'm kind of looking at this. I might use this in the future for topics. Is that messed up to take these? I don't know. But it kind of cuts it out now. But let's see. They got Steelers have first step plan for rookie cornerback Corey Trice. AB promises he'll play real. Who gives a fuck? Who cares if AB plays? Mike Munchak, could he return to the Steelers? If you guys don't know, Mike Munchak was our old offensive line coach. I would be pretty happy about that. Let's look at this popular thing. But guys, I swear it's like literally my first time seeing this too. So you're like live watching me on this website. This Steelers Now thing seems kind of cool. Le'Veon tells, okay, this is Le'Veon talking about the Jets. We got Najee Harris goals, Deontay Johnson goals. Steelers is a sleeper. Steelers are a sleeper team. I really think we are a sleeper team, man. I really think we have a chance to surprise some people, not only in the AFC but in the NFL as well. Not to give Matt Canada some credit because I spent all this time shitting on Matt Canada, but not to give him some credit. But as I've stated, this has got to work in his head, in his mind. These plays work. And I think they work with the players we have signed, because if not, I don't know what the hell we're doing. We're 3 years into the Matt Canada experiment. Offensively, we got if we can just stay in games, our defense has shown that they can hold front for the most part. Unless we're playing like a super crazy good team and we just start getting blown out from the very beginning, our defense has shown that they can step up and play when it matters. And offense, we can score that one touchdown when it matters. Like if it's a one-score game and, let's say Kenny Pickett and the offense has the ball the last drive of the game, I'm confident in that. But I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the games coming down to the wire. I think our defense is good enough for us to get not only 2 touchdowns, but 2 scores. If we can get a touchdown and a field goal, 10-point lead, 2 possessions, if we can get that, I'm comfortable enough with leaving the defense out there just with that buffer. I really do, because, you're expecting to also, if you got the 10-point lead, you're not expecting to be left at that 10-point lead. I think if we can get a 10-point lead, I think we can get as many field goals as it takes to hold that as the defense lets up points, Like I think the 10-point lead, let's say they get it down to 7. I think by the time they get it down to a touchdown, we can have another field goal potentially. So that's back up to 10, I don't know if that really makes sense for you guys, but I think realistically, if our offense can just come together with our defense, I think we can be a pretty good team, and I think we could be scary to look out for. That's the overall point. And honestly, in terms of talking about the Steelers and the play, I mean, I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. We know TJ Watt's a dog. We know Minkah Fitzpatrick. Oh, Minkah Fitzpatrick, real quick. This is carrying over from last season. If you made it to here, shout out. Minkah Fitzpatrick, one is the best safety in the NFL. He is. I don't give a fuck who you're going to name. I don't give a fuck about the dude on the Chargers, Derwin James. I don't give a fuck about Derwin James. I don't give a fuck about, I don't even know, another good safety. I just don't care. I can't even think of him right now because Minkah Fitzpatrick is that good. Minkah Fitzpatrick should have gotten a Defensive Player of the Year vote, at least one vote last year. He should have gotten that. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's the best safety in the NFL. It is what it is. Take that to the bank. Naj, I wanted to maybe talk about Naj. We all know about Naj. Naj is exciting. I'm hoping that this year really he can take off as one of the really, really good running backs in the league, because I think I saw something where he was ranked 18th. I think that's a bit crazy. We want him definitely to be ranked higher than that, but it is what it is. I think Naj can really have the opportunity to take off this year, especially with this rebuilt offensive line. And same thing with Jaylen Warren. I think he'll have more opportunity to grow and become a better runner. But yeah. Lastly, before I end this, I do want to talk about the logistics of this and what I plan on doing with the show. So this, hopefully, the plan was for this to come out Monday, which is now tomorrow, for me and you guys. We'll see how when this actually comes out. But Monday, Memorial Day, is actually technically tomorrow for me, and that was the plan to get this out Monday. But now we'll see. Maybe hopefully Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe later into Monday. We'll see. I've had to record this multiple times, but overall, the plan is to get this out Monday. And I think these longer versions of this podcast are going to be Mondays because if you've been watching, you know I do the post game reactions, which in the season, they typically fall on Sundays. And so my plan is to do the post game reactions and then instantly, either from that or, off of that, record, like a longer podcasty format, kind of like this. And then in the meantime, while all that's happening, I hope to take this video or take like this video, cut it down a bit to get videos out of it, and then also make some other kind of different videos and upload them on not only onto here but onto like TikTok and like other social media platforms. I'm trying to grow this Twitter page. Like I'm gonna start tweeting about the Steelers more. I'm gonna like more things just that way I can show it on the what I'm trying to say, on the screen for you now. But I do wanna expand a bit. That's the overall point. I missed a lot of time, but I think this is something that I really like doing, something I want to take more serious. But yeah, that is the plan for this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video podcast audio thing. If you did enjoy, if you're on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button. Football season is coming, so definitely be sure to peep Ascent Sports for our overall record predictions, everybody, and we'll predict the games. Be sure to check out the other videos. Be sure to stay tuned throughout the week for some smaller videos of this. Honestly, if you watch this whole thing, you really don't need to, but I am going to cut it down and maybe upload like single topic videos throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. And if you're listening on audio platforms, on like Spotify, Apple, stuff like that, I appreciate you guys for doing that. Hopefully I did a good enough job of describing everything. And do what you got to do over there. Hit the like button, 5 stars, whatever it is. Once again, I'm not really sure. But we want to see you here. We want to see you here in the future, man. That's really it. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed overall once again, and I will see you later. And if I got to record this a 4th time now, you're not seeing it. So if you're hearing this now, it worked. If you're not hearing this, well, good luck, Charlie.